My name is Liana Mercer. I'm 32 years old. 3 days before Thanksgiving, my mother called to tell me not to come home. Not because we fought. Not because I did anything wrong. Because my brother said I would embarrass him. He didn't even say it to my face. He said it through her. He said my job would make him look bad in front of his fiancé's family. I stood there in my apartment kitchen, still in my work clothes. Grease on my sleeves, hair tied back, phone pressed to my ear, listening to my own mother explain why I wasn't welcome at my own family's table. "You understand, right?" she said softly. I said, "Yeah, I understand." But I didn't tell her what I actually do. I didn't tell her about the contracts. I didn't tell her about the clients. I didn't tell her that in exactly 72 hours, everyone sitting at that Thanksgiving table would find out the truth, in front of over 200 people. And by then, it would be too late to take it back. Because the biggest mistake they made wasn't uninviting me. It was never asking what I'd become. The pattern didn't start that night. It started 11 years earlier. I was 21, sitting at the dining table in our house in Raleigh. Same table, same chairs, same silence that always followed anything I said. My dad was scrolling through emails on his tablet. My mom was folding napkins like we had guests coming, even though we didn't. My brother Caleb was talking. He was always talking. "I got shortlisted for the internship," he said. "Finance division. Only 12 people made it." My mom lit up like someone had plugged her into electricity. "That's amazing," she said. "I knew it. I told your father." My dad nodded without looking up. "That's big." I waited for a pause. There's always a pause. You just have to find it. "I'm dropping out," I said. Everything stopped. My mom's hands froze mid-fold. My dad looked up. Caleb leaned back in his chair like he was about to watch something entertaining. "Dropping out of what?" my dad asked. "College," I said. "I'm leaving the program." Silence. Then my mom said it. "What do you mean you're leaving?" "I don't want to finish the degree," I said. "I'm starting my own business." Caleb laughed. Not loud, just enough. "What business?" he asked. "I fix things," I said. "Restoration. I've been working at a garage part-time for a year. I'm good at it." My mom blinked, like she didn't process the words. "You want to be a mechanic?" she asked slowly. "I already am," I said. The silence that followed felt heavier than anything I'd ever said. My dad leaned back. "That's physical work," he said. "You're smart, Liana. You don't have to do that." "I want to," I said. Caleb smirked. "So you're quitting college to work in a garage?" he said. "I'm starting my own shop," I corrected. My mom gave me that smile. The one that wasn't a smile. The one that meant she was already disappointed. "Well," she said, "we'll support you." But I learned something that night. Support had conditions. Over the next decade, nothing changed, except everything did. Every Sunday dinner, same routine. "How's work, Caleb?" "Great." "Any promotions?" "Maybe soon." "That's wonderful." Then they'd turn to me. "How's work?" Not "what are you building?" Not "what are you fixing?" Just, "How's work?" Like they were asking about the weather. Polite, distant, done. At 24, I opened my first garage. 1 bay. Leaking roof. Rent, $1,200 a month. I told them at dinner. "That's nice," my mom said. Then she asked Caleb about his bonus structure. At 27, I expanded. 3 bays, 5 employees. I told them. "That's risky," my dad said. Then he asked Caleb about his stock options. At 30, I landed my first corporate contract, fleet maintenance. $480,000 annually. I didn't tell them. Because I already knew how that conversation would go. By 32, I owned 2 locations, 17 employees, revenue just under $2.4 million. But every Sunday, my mom still asked, "How's work?" And every Sunday I said, "Fine." Because they never really wanted the answer. The call came on November 21st, 8:12 p.m. I had just closed the shop. Hands dirty, nails black with oil, back aching. My phone lit up. Mom. I almost didn't answer, but I did. Hey, I said. Hi, sweetheart, she replied. That tone. Careful, soft, prepared. Something was coming. What's up? I asked. A pause. About Thanksgiving, she said. I leaned against my car. Okay. Caleb is bringing his fiancée this year, she continued, and her parents. I said nothing. He's nervous, she added. Still nothing. He just wants everything to go smoothly. I already knew, but I let her say it. He asked if maybe this year it could just be immediate family. I closed my eyes. I am immediate family, I said. I know, she said quickly, but he's worried that... Worried about what? Silence. Then, he thinks your job might be difficult to explain. There it was. I let it sit. My job, I repeated. He didn't mean it badly, she rushed. It's just, his fiancé's family is very traditional. He doesn't want them to think... To think what? I asked. Another pause. That we're blue collar, I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was exactly what I expected. So I'm not invited, I said. It's just this year, she replied quickly. I nodded. Yeah, I said. I get it. And I did, completely. Thank you for understanding, she said, relief flooding her voice. We hung up. I stood there in the parking lot, streetlight flickering above me, cold air biting through my jacket. And I didn't cry. I didn't get angry. I just stood there, realizing something. I had built an entire life, and the people who raised me had no idea what it looked like. They never asked, so I never told them. And that silence, it was about to cost them. Because there was one thing they didn't know. One thing Caleb definitely didn't know. His fiancé's father was my biggest client. And in 3 days, we were all going to be in the same room. Because the truth was, I knew exactly who her family was. I just didn't realize they were his. His fiancé's name was Sophie Laurent. I'd been working with her father, Daniel Laurent, for almost 2 years. He owned a regional logistics company, over 140 vehicles across 3 states. Delivery vans, service trucks, executive cars. We handled everything. Maintenance, emergency repairs, full restorations. His contract alone was worth $620,000 a year. He didn't care what I looked like. He didn't care that I showed up in oil-stained jeans. He cared that his fleet ran on time. That's it. And because of that, he trusted me. More than most people in his circle. The first time I met Sophie was 6 months earlier. She walked into my shop in heels. Actual heels. White blouse, designer bag, hair perfectly done. She looked around like she'd stepped into a different world. You're Liana? She asked. Yeah, I said, wiping my hands on a rag. I'm Sophie, she said. My dad said you'd help me with my car. Her tone was polite, but distant, like she wasn't sure how to talk to me. I nodded toward the lift. What's wrong with it? She explained the issue. I listened, fixed it in under 2 hours. When she came back, she looked surprised. That was fast, she said. That's what you're paying for, I replied. She smiled. That was the first crack. After that, she came by more often, sometimes for her car, sometimes just to ask questions. She started staying longer, watching, learning. One afternoon, she said something that stuck with me. You don't seem like what I expected, she said. I leaned back against the workbench. What did you expect? She hesitated. I don't know, she admitted. Someone rougher, I smirked. I get that a lot. She looked around the shop, at the organization, the systems, the team. You run all this? She asked. Yeah. Alone? No, I said. I built it. That was the moment something shifted. She started seeing me differently, not as a mechanic, as a business owner. But she never mentioned Caleb, not once. And I never asked. Because why would I? Customers don't usually bring their personal lives into a garage. So when my mom told me Caleb's fiance's name, I didn't connect it. Not right away. Laurent is a common last name. Sophie is a common name. I didn't think twice. Until the email came in. 2 days before Thanksgiving. Subject line, Annual Client Appreciation Dinner. Final confirmation from Daniel Laurent. I opened it. Read it once. Then again. Then a third time. Date, Friday, November 25th. Location, Grand Regency Hotel Ballroom. Guest list, 200 plus. Dress code, formal. And at the bottom, we look forward to recognizing our top partners this year. I felt something shift in my chest, because I knew what that meant. Awards, recognition, public acknowledgement. And then I saw the attachment, nominee list. I clicked it, scrolled, and there it was, my name. Liana Mercer, Mercer Auto Group. Category, Outstanding Service Partner of the Year. I stared at it, heartbeat steady, breathing slow, because I already knew something they didn't. Caleb would be there. Banking division, corporate clients, sponsors. He'd definitely be there, with Sophie, with her family, with my parents, and for the first time, the timeline clicked into place. Thanksgiving, I'm not invited. Friday night, we're all in the same room. I leaned back in my chair and laughed. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, because this wasn't revenge. This was timing. Thanksgiving came. I woke up at 6:10 a.m. Same as always. My house was silent. No noise, no voices, no expectations. Just stillness. I made coffee, black, no sugar, sat by the window, watched the sun come up, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was missing something. I felt like I was finally outside of it. I spent the day at the shop. Not because I had to, because I wanted to. We had a backlog, 2 engines to rebuild, 1 diagnostic issue no one else could figure out. I worked, focused, calm. At 2:17 p.m., my phone buzzed. Text from Caleb. Happy Thanksgiving. That was it. No apology, no acknowledgement. Just a sentence. I stared at it, then locked my phone. Didn't reply. At 7:45 p.m., another message, this time from my mom. We miss you. I looked at it, and for a second, I almost answered. Almost. Then I put the phone down, because missing me and respecting me were 2 different things. Friday night came faster than expected. I arrived at the Grand Regency Hotel at 6:05 p.m., parking lot full. Valets moving fast. Luxury cars everywhere. I parked my truck in the back. Same truck I'd had for 6 years. Same scratches. Same dents. I sat there for a moment, hands on the wheel, looking at my reflection. I wasn't wearing work clothes. Black dress. Simple. Clean. Professional. Hair down. Makeup minimal. I looked different. Not better. Just different. I stepped out, walked toward the entrance, and the moment I stepped inside, everything shifted. Lights, music, voices, crystal chandeliers, round tables, white linen, people in suits, people who looked like they belonged there. I checked in. Name? The woman asked. Liana Mercer. She smiled instantly. Oh, yes, she said. You're one of our nominees. She handed me a badge. I pinned it on and walked into the ballroom. 200 people. Maybe more. I scanned the room, recognizing faces, clients, suppliers, competitors. And then I saw them. Table 18, front right, clear view of the stage. Caleb, my parents, and Sophie. Caleb looked confident. Suit tailored. Posture perfect. My mom was smiling. My dad looked proud. Sophie was glowing, laughing, comfortable, happy. They had no idea I was there. Not yet. I turned away. Walked to my table, table 7, nominees section. I sat down, picked up the program, flipped to page 3. There it was again. My name. Printed. Official. Real. At 7:10 p.m., the host took the stage. The room quieted. Speeches started. Introductions. Sponsors. Recognition. I barely listened, because I could feel it building. That moment. At 7:32 p.m., the category came up. Outstanding Service Partner of the Year. My hands went still.